You got to brainwash yourself for health, wealth and abundance because you've already been brainwashed, not by some conspiracy or some shadow government or the Matrix, but by parents, your school, your environment and your habits. Every day since you were born, your brain's been absorbing instructions about what's possible for you, how much money you can earn, what kind of body you should have, what kind of friendship circles you should be in, and what kind of love you deserve. You've been programmed. And at most of that, the programming has mostly been garbage. So if you're struggling to build wealth, discipline, or peace, or a happy life, it's not because you're lazy or broken, it's because you're running on somebody else's software. But the good news is you can rewrite it. You can brainwash yourself on purpose this time, however you want to be brainwashed. And when you do, life starts to shift. Money flows easier, your energy increases, and your confidence becomes unshakable. You stop forcing and you start attracting, and that's what we're going to be diving into today. Because the secret to wealth, health, and abundance isn't doing more, it's becoming more by reprogramming the most powerful computer in existence, your mind. Because you're already brainwashed, we've already clarified that. It's just been going in the wrong direction. So let's start with the uncomfortable truth. You didn't choose most of your beliefs, if any of them. They were just installed. When you were a kid, your brain was wide open. That's theta brainwaves, the same state that's used in hypnosis. Everything you heard, everything you saw and felt became hard-coded into your subconscious mind. If you want money, you've got to work hard. People like us don't get rich. Life's not fair. Play it safe. Money's the root of all evil. And that became your operating system. And now you're 30, 40, 50, wondering why you can't break through to that next level, whatever that next level looks like for you. Because you're fighting your programming, because your subconscious mind runs 95% of your thoughts, habits, emotions and behaviour. That means you're living on autopilot, repeating those behaviours that keep you stuck exactly where you are. So when I say brainwash yourself, what I mean is overwrite the code that's been holding your life and your life hostage. You've been brainwashed to survive. Now it's time to brainwash yourself to thrive and to be the best version, happiest, most fulfilled version. So here's the science of programming and why it works. Here's the science behind the magic. Your subconscious mind doesn't think, it just obeys. It takes orders. It doesn't reason, it reacts. It takes every command that you repeat as truth. That's why affirmations, gratitude, visualization and repetition work. Because they overtake your conscious mind and it feeds instructions directly from your subconscious. But here's where men just go wrong. They just dabble. They do one affirmation video and call it a day. That's like trying to rewire your brain with a post-it note that flies off the wall. You need immersion, repetition, emotion and belief all firing together. Think of your brain like clay. Every thought, every word, every repeated emotion starts to shape it. You either shape it consciously or it gets shaped for you by the world, by the environment and the people around you. And the world's programming is toxic. Fear, scarcity. Fear and scarcity. So if you don't brainwash yourself for wealth, health and peace, you'll stay unconsciously brainwashed for mediocrity and an average life. That's why most people never change. Not because they can't, but because they can't or won't reprogram themselves. So here's exactly how to brainwash yourself for wealth, health, abundance and an amazing life. So let's get practical. Here's how to actually do it. So you've got something actionable to take away from this video. Step number 1. Choose your new identity. You can't upgrade what you don't define for yourself. So ask yourself, who is the next level version of you? What does he look like? How does he speak? How does he move? How does he think? How does he earn? You don't try to become him. You decide to be him. Right now in this moment. So write this sentence down and repeat it to yourself daily. I'm the type of man who already lives in alignment. Mentally, physically and financially. Everything working together in alignment. Because your brain doesn't argue, it adapts. So when you act in line with that identity, your subconscious mind starts to lock it in. And after enough repetitions, it becomes automatic. Step number 2, you need to rewrite your internal dialogue because your subconscious mind listens 24/7. Stop feeding it poison and bullshit. Every time you say, I can't, your brain goes to proving that you're right. Every time you say, I always win, it starts to look for evidence for that. So start catching the thoughts that keep you small, interrupt them and replace them in a repetitive way. I'm not sure why that was such a mouthful, but you need to repeat these things because repetition is the key to master any skill or to reprogram your subconscious. Because the words you use today Become the world that you live in tomorrow. Step number 3, repetition with emotion. You can't just whisper your new beliefs. You have to feel them, because your subconscious mind doesn't respond to logic. It responds to emotion. That's why I record affirmations over binaural beats, because emotion plus repetition plus state equals programming. So every night before I sleep, I feed my brain with the identity that I'm building. Money, peace, action, contribution, that kind of conditioning. The same way you got programmed in childhood, you can reprogram yourself in adulthood. It just takes consistency and some kind of energy. So step number 4 is anchor it physically. This is where most people miss the point. Your body's the bridge between your mind and between your reality. So if you affirm to yourself that I'm disciplined whilst living like a slob, your subconscious mind calls bullshit on it. You need some kind of congruence. Train hard, eat clean, wake up early, and anchor your new identity in the physical world. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce your subconscious belief that you're now a man of your word, and you follow through on the promises that you make to yourself and others. And that's the foundation of an amazing, enjoyable life. Step number 5 is guard the gates to your fucking mind, because you can't reprogram your mind whilst being surrounded by poison, because your environment is programming you all day. Your Instagram feed, your friends, your routines, even the music that you listen to. So if it doesn't make you stronger and happier, it's weakening you. So start curating and creating everything you consume. Audit the inputs to your mind and your life like it depends on it, because it does. And the most valuable real estate you'll ever own is up here, in between your ears. So treat it that way. And the result is you become unfulfilled in every sense of the word. When you reprogram your subconscious mind, everything starts to change and fast. People think manifestation is some kind of magic. It's not. It's math. You start attracting the level of opportunities and relationships that match your new identity.